We are unmuted on Facebook.
Hi, Terry. Just wanted to make sure you could hear us.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. Perfect. We're gonna mute again.
You know,
Yeah, they're pretty good to me. They're pretty fast. It's usually, if he's there, it's usually like 15, 20 minutes at the most. Yeah.
all right, we're gonna call this meeting to order at 7:30 PM. Please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lynn, can you call roll call, please? Mayor Terry Whiteham,
Here?
Vice Mayor Jacqueline Lowe. Present. Councilmember Aaron Durst,
Here?
Councilmember Darrell Gardner,
Here.
Councilmember Jabari Martinez,
Here.
Councilmember Linda Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Chris Weisenberg,
Here.
I would like to take a moment in honor of, Senator Mike Enzi, a moment of silence. Can everybody? They're good. All right, moving on to the public hearing portion of the meeting. This is a public hearing for third and final reading of ordinance of the governing body of the city of Rollins, Carbon County, Wyoming, rescinding ordinance number 04-2020, amending Title 19 of the Rollins Municipal Code. We're gonna open for public hearing at this time. Anybody wants to come up to comment? Okay. Hearing none, I'm gonna close the public hearing and move on to citizens' participation. This is public comment section of the meeting, and it sets a time limit for the public comment of 5 minutes under the, agenda items that aren't mentioned in the agenda. So you can talk about anything that's not in the agenda. So I open that up to anybody from the public that would like to come speak. So please come state your name and
Thank you. My name is Joe Garcia. Thank you for letting me speak. The issue I would like to talk about is, as a contractor, curb and gutter and ADA sidewalks. I don't recall the year. I tried looking it up on Facebook. Scott Hamm had brought it up for the issue on, I don't know if I was working on Sunnyside, that's where I recall my memory too. But, he was, saying that, we had to follow Wyoming law, Wyoming code statutes, ADA for corners for sidewalks. I used to pour a lot of concrete. I don't do that much anymore. So, I live up on Miller Street. We have contractors up there doing a great job. But I noticed, last week that they were forming, actually they pulled out the curb and they were forming just to put the approach back, but not as an ADA. So I asked the foreman at the time, and he said it wasn't in the plans. He said if I had an issue, I'd have to talk to the city project manager. I don't know the title. I did talk to him today. Sorry, I don't recall your name. Mark. I talked to Mark today, and I brought that issue up with him. And he said he would review the plans, see if it was in the bid for them to put ADAs and et cetera. And if it wasn't, he was just gonna push forward without it. That's my understanding. I guess the example I would give is if I was a contractor, and I am, if I had, a resident who lived on a corner, which I've had in the past, they want a bid from me to do curb, gutter, sidewalk, all the way around, and I always have to tell them I have to put ADA in, which I charge more, very critical, and, they always said no. So, if I went in and I just reported, which is out of Wyoming code, anyone could have complained and I would have to pull it out. I'm just curious. We have another construction company on the other side of town. I don't wanna be regulated. I feel very bad that I'm having to tell. But I think this is a real safety issue, especially with ADAs. I've been in the construction field. When I first started, it didn't really matter to me, but as I progressed, I understood the safety issues. Those are real safety issues. I don't know where that code is by the Wyoming statute. I can look it up. But, I didn't take pictures of what they were doing on Miller Street. I think they're doing a great job. But, I just don't think it's fair for me to be on a different playing field from other contractors. We can get that addressed sometime in the future, be greatly appreciated. I don't know if I'm gonna stay in the field or not. My mom's starting to deteriorate, so I've slowed down, but, but we could just keep that level playing field. That's a good thing about a contractor. Residents don't know the laws. They expect us to know. And I don't have a structural license, but I worked for a very well-known, company for many years, and they gave me the foreman position to do concrete, so I had to know those. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Is there anybody else from the public that would like to comment? Hearing none, we'll go on to the approval of the minutes of August 3rd, 2021 regular meeting. Motion? Councilman Burgess.
I move to approve the city council regular meeting minutes of August 3rd, 2021 as presented.
second,
Jabari already got it.
oh, okay, thank you.
All right, Lynn, you.
Online voting is open.
I will vote yes.
Online voting has closed, the motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, moving on to the approval of the August 17th, 2021 City Council agenda. Councilman Martinez?
I make a motion to approve the August 17, 2021.
Eisenberg, second. You open online voting?
Online voting is open.
I will vote yes.
All right, moving down to city council reports, the
Can you
board.
hold on one second?
Oh, I'm sorry, Lynn, I can't.
That's okay. Councilmember Smith. Okay, thank you. Online voting has closed, the motion passes with 7 yeas.
Now we'll move on to city council reports. The first one on the agenda is Board of Adjustment, Councilmember Durst.
I have nothing to report, and I'm not aware of any updates.
All right, moving down to COG, Mayor Wyckoff.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I went to a COG meeting in Baggs, Wyoming, and there were two things discussed. One of them was an update on the highway department projects that they were doing around Carbon County. And there's just tons of them, as you probably know by driving around. The other half of that meeting was mostly about a fire district that some people are trying to form for the county. They presented some facts and numbers, and there's going to be another meeting about it also. The problem with Rollins being part of that fire district is our fire protection would go down considerably. They showed that if that new district were formed, with all three mills, the budget would be barely more than what Rollins has already, like it's 1.9 million, where our budget for that stuff is about 1.3 or 4, somewhere in there. So obviously our fire protection would go down. And our fire chief, Blaine, was there, and Blaine Schumacher, and we pretty much all agreed that it just really wouldn't work for Rollins. I think it would work for some of the smaller towns, but to be honest with you, I don't think it would work for Rollins. There will be more information coming at this next COG meeting, which I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to attend or not, but Sean said he would. And but we can get you more facts and figures for you to make up your own mind. But in my opinion, it would not be good for Rollins. And that's pretty much all that was covered at the COG meeting. Thank you.
All right, Mayor Wyckoff. Moving on to DDA Main Street, Councilwoman Smith.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We did have a meeting on Monday, and we discussed three major things, I guess. The splash pad is almost finished. The restroom is in, and they should be finishing up with what we call the spouts that you put in that will spray the water out. That should be either done Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember which day. We discussed the upcoming Passion and Pride Ball, which is coming in September. And I think it's like the second week in September. I'll have a better date for you the first week in September. And then we do have the dedication of the mare and the colt. We call them the horses. They're at Jeffrey Center. And that has been set for 12:30 on September 7th. And we are inviting all the council, and we've invited the county commissioners to participate because they are allowing us to leave the horses on the Jeffrey Center lawn. So that's the three things we basically discussed, and I think that's all that I have for you today. Thank you.
Councilwoman Smith. Moving on to the Rollins Planning Commission, Councilmember Weisenberg.
Yeah, we had a meeting last, week and discussed about the, rescinding of Title 19. There's some, information on that board. I invited them to come talk during public. Give kudos to the city attorney, was meeting too, and she, explained very well in detail, you know, the discussion of the options, they had still have some concerns due to time and, what it took to go through that, but they're willing to do it again, and there's a lot to look at this point in time too. I think at the same time, they're gonna look at review the master plan, that too, so make sure it's, gonna follow suit with the Title 19 at the same time, and then, you know, it'll go through and look at other municipalities and what they have to offer too. They're up for the challenge again, and, you know, all I have on that.
Councilmember. Urban Systems Committee, Councilmember Gardner.
Our meeting is tomorrow afternoon, so I don't have anything new.
All right, moving down to reports and information, city manager's report. Manager Strong, yeah?
Just wanted to touch on a few things. We have the Black Tie event, which is this Friday, where the governor's gonna be speaking. I think from the city council, Linda Smith was one that was kind of tentative, I think, wanted to come. Did you know if you still wanted to come to that, or? Are you planning on going to the Black Tie event on Friday?
Are you asking me? And I'm sorry.
Linda Smith, are you
Oh.
planning on attending the Black?
I'm sorry. I did not hear the conversation. Sorry.
I was just wondering if you're planning on
What's the
attending the
question?
Black Tie event on Friday?
Are you planning on attending the Black Tie event on Friday, Linda?
In Sinclair. I guess you're gonna have to tell me what the event is. The Black Tie event is where?
Or,
If
the
it's this
governor-
Friday, I'm sorry, if it's this Friday, no. If
Okay,
it's
thank you.
Passion and Pride, if it's Passion and Pride, yes.
Not Passion and Pride.
And I know the mayor was planning on going to this event, but I don't think he'll be able to make it this time. But is there any council member that would like to go in place of Linda? I think we have some spots filled from the mayor. Anyone else would like to come on Friday? I think it's 5 o'clock, and I think Saratoga, I'd have to check the exact details, but
I'll get back with you on that for sure.
Yeah, we cannot, so.
yeah, let me know. I wanted to do just a quick thank you to our staff that put together our summer barbecue. I think that was really great to have everyone come, and that was a great event. Also, I wanted to thank staff for their work on Latino Fest, and I know that's a lot of work that goes behind that, so thank you. Also wanted to thank Blaine Schumacher for being the guest on the Facebook Live behind the scenes event. That was really good. And then the next one that we have is gonna be on September 20th. It's at 12 o'clock at lunchtime, and we'll have our police chief, Michael Ward, will be our guest on that one. So, that's all I have.
Perfect. Down to department reports. Who would like to speak first? Board? Come on.
Mark's taking my place.
Oh, that's not you, sorry. Mr. Ward.
He ain't gonna get out of it that easy. So, that's my choice. Easy to understand.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As you can see, our water restrictions are working, not doing great. Dropping out on Monday, they're hitting us hard, and they're dropping, coming down low, and then picking back up on Wednesday. Up again, Thursday and Friday. Situation's not as dire as it was, but it's still, we're not out of the woods. It's not like miracle cure. But, I can make it through these next few weeks. We're supposed to get rain and cooler weather the next couple days. I always talk about that. I never optimistic, so we're gonna get some rain and we're gonna get some cool weather. It does help. But over the Monday, we really dropped. Off Monday, they were off Thursday and Friday. Opened it up pretty. It's not time to say, take them off, reduce them. But we need to stay. Working 2 shifts at the plant. Got the filter screens for number 1 ordered. 12 weeks. Resurfaced the police back parking lot and the alley behind the police station. If you all driven back there lately, you know that there's a couple of Toyotas in there somewhere. Found them and filled in those holes. We got the Volkswagens from Edinburgh, so we're getting a good collection. We did get Edinburgh's. The contract, the wear course and the street rehab contract is moving on good. Talked to STC today and they predict they'll be done. We're gonna be ready for the winter. Projects, that's 2019, 2020, 2021. All 3 of those projects are out there. Crosswalks and arrows done for the new school, a new school year to start, get them all shined up and new crosswalks and new arrows so everybody can see them. Have our tour Saturday, excited about that. Go out and check out the springs and a tour package for you, the presentation, so you can see firsthand what our challenges are. Some of you may have never been out there. It's gonna be quite an experience. Enjoy it. It's a beautiful place. It really is. We, had all the, normally this time of year, we do the painting of the stripes downtown. And all the lines and everything. Hold off till spring. We paint them, and then we go through the winter with the salt and the snow and the weather. They don't get painted for the spring. All our events and our summer activities. So I hope you agree with me. I think that's the right time to do it, is in the spring, so it'll be nice and fresh. Have it ready for our activities. It'll look a lot better through the summer. So I know that, habits, we're used to seeing it in the fall. This fall, you're not gonna see it. We'll wait till spring and make them really look good for that summer for all our activities. And I hope that's pleasing to you all to do that. That's my really short, where we're at right now. I've got a couple other things to talk about when we get into the action items, so I appreciate it, I thank you. It's your time. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. I did drive down Edinburgh Street, and, it's by far way better than what it was. I know it's, a quick fix for the time being, you know, so the public understands that it's just a quick fix, that project is going for
Six penny.
next year on the sixth inning, so, like I said, I appreciate it, thank you.
I think we get some surplus money off that also.
All right, who wants to go next? Come on up, Jason.
Honorable Mayor, City Council, a few things I'll try to get through here. First, I want to start, giving a report on the, shooting range advisory board as well as the golf advisory board, meetings. So the golf advisory board meeting is tomorrow, so typically, council will hear those reports about a month later. And then once I get through this, I also want to ask council if you would prefer that I know Sean's sending information out to council on Fridays. He's invited the department heads to add to that. So if it's too much lengthy time to kind of go over what was discussed in those meetings, I'd be happy to send that out in that format as well. But for tonight, last week, we did have a shooting range advisory board meeting. Let's see, there was some work done on the 300-yard shooting range that's adjacent to the 1,000-yard shooting range. I want to thank our community development department and our public works department. They helped us move 400 yards of dirt over into the area so that we can increase the barriers between the two ranges. So thank you for your help with that. We also received a $1,000 grant. I don't know if I reported this last time. A $1,000 grant from Williams Energy Company. So we're very appreciative to them on that. There was discussion about replacing the flooring on the indoor shooting range as well as the shooting barriers. City Council approved in the capital improvement plan, some funding to make those improvements. So we're involving the shooting range advisory board on, what types of barriers and what types of flooring. So you'll hear some more about that coming up. I do want to say that the shooting board expressed some sincere, appreciation to Clint, who runs the shooting range day in and day out. Not just recently, but since he's been there, he's done some just really top-notch changes to it, and it's immaculate if you go out there. It's really in great shape. So we're proud of our shooting ranges, and I think we should be proud of Clint for all the hard work he and his crew has done out there as well. Also, there was some appreciation to the Friends of the NRA for their endless contributions to the shooting ranges, both indoor and outdoor over the years. That was kind of in a nutshell what the board discussed. And I don't know if, would you prefer I do a verbal presentation to council, going forward? I'd be happy to. It'd take much longer than that.
I think it's good to hear a verbal, presentation like that, because it involves the public and let them know also what's going on.
I like it too, because if you have any follow-up questions, you're welcome to ask me as well. Okay, so golf course again, the golf course advisory board meets tomorrow, but I do want to say, I finally got out there to play a little bit of golf, and I'm really impressed. When you really get out there and play, you get to see how well the course is maintained. We did hire a new golf course superintendent, Abe Colsey. He's been there with us, I think, since January as the assistant, and he's really stepped up, and he really knows golf course maintenance, and it really shows. And his crew just goes to bat for him. You can see the respect they have for him, and you can really see when you go out and play the course. So, shout out to Abe for that, all that goodness. Let's see, Recreation Department, we wrapped up Music in the Park last week. That was such a fun event. I mean, that was such a fun event. I mean, it was really cool. You get to hang out, see people. I was super impressed with the quality of the bands. Patty Hayes, like, shout out to Patty Hayes for getting these bands to come here and play, because they were top-notch bands. So it was a great series, and it really is a citywide event. You know, all of our departments were involved, from community development, public works, our fire department, our police department, streets, closing the streets, finance department, helping us get, you know, checks to pay the bands, and then other local people like the Old Pen helping out with the trash, and then the 50/50 raffles that we did every week that went to these great, you know, organizations to help them raise money, you know, and we were getting like half of the 50/50 was like $600-700 each week, which what I've been told is that that's more considerably than in years past. So it's just such a great community event, and I think I've been told that we'll probably have more next year, so I'm looking forward to that. Hope everybody else is as well. Really quickly, we are looking to kind of start expand what we're offering at the recreation center. Part of it is coming out of COVID, part of it is just part of the strategic plan to revamp our recreation program. So we're gonna offer a playgroup program for parents and and friends of 0 to 5-year-olds that we're gonna hold probably once a week to start small and see if people get interested. It's a great program that's offered nationwide, really. I've been involved in the past, and it's basically a great opportunity for toddlers to get together and play and run and climb and be active. We might have a small library down the road where parents can read. But it's also a great opportunity for families to get together and meet other parents with kids the same age. And it's just, I've seen great success in this program in the past, and I feel like it's a good fit for Rollins as well, but we will soon find out. And then we did find a new instructor to help us with new Pilates classes. That will be part of the membership. We are also looking at some point to branch out and offer some more programming. We're kind of waiting on some staffing and a few other things, but we're optimistic, and we are encouraged and looking forward to that to happen. So last thing is parks and green spaces. We continue to aerate and fertilize our parks, ball fields. A lot of the ball fields have been done. The soccer fields have been done, and so we'll move into the park system as well. We're also doing that at the golf course at the same time, so we're kind of sharing equipment and making everything happen with the short period of time we really have to do all this work. So, but we feel like we're going to make it happen, and the parks crew is doing a great job. We did, in cooperation with the police department and Affordable Tree Care, we were able to remove the dead tree at the police department a couple weeks ago. They also trimmed away the large, beautiful tree that's out there that was kind of covering up the police department sign. So that's all removed and looks great. They removed a few other small trees that were dying. So that looks good now. And then the last thing I want to mention, and Kelly O'Hare actually did a great story for us. She has the ability to make us sound good on the radio. I don't know how she does it, but we are moving forward with phase 1 of the landscape plan with City Hall. This is part of the strategic plan, the beautification process, and it really plugs into 2 places with the strategic plan, to beautify our entryways and our properties, but also to create partnerships to help with beautification of the property. So we are excited to partner with the University of Wyoming, and we have a plan in place. We met yesterday to talk more. This Thursday and Friday, we're going to be tearing out all the, basically the soil and rock that's in there. It's really not something that many plants are going to enjoy growing in. So we're going to remove all that. We picked up a bunch of soil today that we're going to replace in that area. In the meantime, we have all this beautiful Russian sage. And so where we're going to do the phase 1 is from the steps right over here to the steps out front. So that corner, that southwest corner. There's a lot of Russian sage. We're going to keep some in place back up towards the building because it's taller, but we're going to remove a lot of it. And so we thought it'd be a great opportunity to invite the public to come down and pick up some free Russian sage. So this Friday, August 20th, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., community members, city council members, staff members can come down and pick up some free Russian sage, take it with them. Then we're going to work on figuring out the irrigation system that we have there. We are planning on planting a lot, mostly native, Wyoming native plants, so they're somewhat drought tolerant, I should say. So, but we're going to design the irrigation system for what we're putting in there. And then on Friday, September 10th, we're going to actually plant all these plants. They're on order, they'll be here. And so we thought it'd be another great opportunity to invite the public, this time for a learning workshop. So be a free workshop, inviting the public to learn about plants. And so Abby Perry from the University Extension is going to run that workshop and teach residents on what types of plants do well in this climate, what types of plants are deer resistant, She's gonna talk about space and arrangement, and as well as design. You know, plant's this big right now, but in 2 years it might be this big. So ways to plan ahead on how you're gonna plant your garden. So it'll be a really good opportunity for residents to learn what might work at their homes as well. So we're really looking forward to that. So this Friday, August 10th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., come by and get some Russian sage for free. And then Friday, September 10th, at 10 a.m., we're gonna have that free planting workshop at right here at City Hall. So that's all I have for tonight, unless anybody has any questions. Thank you.
Honorable Mayor and Council, just a few things that I'm working on is, helping other departments with possible grants and helping them with the financial end and miscellaneous other information. Reviewing financial policies and procedures, something that is in desperate need of review. And then, I'm also working on a financial analysis module that will help me project, down the road, anywhere from a year to 2 years. That will be very helpful when I get that all done. And then I have a lot of miscellaneous things, such as I'm looking at additional investment, vehicles or instruments. And so I'll be bringing a resolution to you pretty soon, probably the next meeting, to authorize us to invest in, it's called Wyoming Class, which is, geared and run by some gentlemen that I've worked with in the past, and very, very good, and they have found me awesome rates, for terms that I need, like 17 months, really odd dates, so that I can gauge payments from the CDs when we need the money. Because if you cash it out too early, you lose all that interest. And you do a really great job helping me with that. So I'll bring that to you probably the next time we meet. And then I've also been reviewing some historical documents to better understand certain activities and why we are where we are. And, of course, beginning to look at water rates and other miscellaneous things. So, just a lot of little things going on that hopefully will sound dry to people, but I find a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Bill this time.
I was gonna let Mark talk about all the police business.
That would be exciting.
I'm gonna cover pipes and water flow. Hi, good evening. Most of you in the front of the room know me, and we've already met. If there's anybody here I haven't met, my name's Mike Ward. I'm the new police chief, or the other police chief. I was sworn in 2 weeks ago yesterday. So I'm looking forward to meeting you if I haven't done. When I was sworn in 2 weeks ago, I took an oath of office, and I uphold the Constitution and laws in the state of Maryland. Sorry, Wyoming. I just came from Maryland, although I did take an oath there too. But I thanked City Manager Sean Metcalf for choosing me and placing his. I'd also like to thank the City Council, the Mayor and Vice Mayor for the same, and include the public in there. And they're all related because the public elected all of you. You hired Sean, and then Sean hired you. So I appreciate that. Prior to my arrival, the police department was operating under the supervision of interim Chief Chris Craig. And Chris did a wonderful job. Under his leadership, the budget for the police department was put together this year, which is a complicated matter, as you all know. We've had issues in the police department with staffing this year, which is a challenge across the country currently in our profession. Under Chris Craig, we have 3 new officers that are currently in training. One of them is finishing up field training. The other 2 laterals came to us from other departments in Wyoming, and they are just finishing up in-house training, and they're going to begin their field training next week. So we have a authorized sworn number of 19. Those 3 will bring us up to 15. We have a little more room to go.
but, their hiring and the beginning of their training occurred under, Chris Craig. In addition to his, proficiency in our profession, minutes ago I stepped out, it was because Chris Craig was back in the hallway and he came here to check on me to make sure I had everything I needed. Really nice guy on top of all of it. So I wanted to thank him for everything that he did. So I'll go back to staffing. I just touched on the fact that we have 3 that are currently in training. On Monday, one of our civilian professional staff, a new member, Rachel Berger, began as a full-time victim advocate. She was offered the position last week, and she actually began this Monday, just yesterday, actually. So, we're working to get her up and running, and she's working with the other victim advocates up into the mix. We currently have a dispatcher position that's open. We have a code enforcement officer position that's open, but authorized to fill, but we're waiting on an audit and permission from the city to do so. We have a detective position that's open. It's not an internal position, so we would fill that as soon as we get up to full staffing. A couple weeks ago, we conducted an interview with an officer that was interested, who was in the department to serve as a school resource officer. This is a very important position within any department, but especially within the community of Rollins. Everybody here takes the safety and security of their schools, the students, our children, the teachers, and our learning environment very, very seriously. It's a top priority for the department. So Sergeant Joel Robertson was interested. We conducted an interview with him for our MOU with Carbon County School District 1. The superintendent of the school district, Mike Campbell, the representative of their HR department, sat in on the interview. Sergeant Robertson did an outstanding job on the interview. He talked about how when he was a student at Rollins High School, he had been very influenced by the SRO when he was a student. Turns out that SRO was also his brother. But he spoke very highly of his experience then and showed great passion for the position, and he was picked, and he'll be starting this week as the new SRO for Rollins. In terms of community engagement, we've been very busy this month. As Jason mentioned, Music in the Park's been going on. It's been staffed by police members. I attended it twice, and it was a really good event. We had officers at the Cow Plop and Chicken Drop, and the Hispanic Heritage Celebration event as well. I was at both of those. At Highway Patrol Trooper and an officer from the Rollins PD that was at the Heritage Celebration. National Night Out is a big event for law enforcement agencies. It began back in the 80s as a block watch type of an event and had to do with neighborhood safety. Over the years, it evolved into an engagement event between communities and those that protect them. So ours was held a couple weeks ago on August 3rd, and it was in Bolton Park. We had quite a bit of partnership with members of our community businesses that donated things to the event. It was raining pretty hard, but we still had a pretty good turnout, and I was pretty happy with the whole thing. We just read an article in the paper thanking the businesses that made donations. I brought it with you so you can see it, but some of the businesses from Rollins that donated things were Mike's Big City Bar and Grill, Wyoming Division of Victim Services, Walmart, McDonald's, Bucks, Pepsi, Kelly Distributing, Dirty Boys, Blackwater Septic, the fire department was there, Wyoming Highway Patrol was there, EMS was there, and Sinclair was a big donor as well. We appreciate everything that they contributed towards that event. I think it was a success. So this Thursday, going back to school again, we'll be going back to school Thursday. We'll have a presence at all 3 of the schools in Rollins. You know, on traffic, but also just being seen and letting the public know that we're there, and in terms of calls for service this month, dispatch received almost 1,300 calls. Almost 600 of them were 911 calls. They dispatched over 800 calls for service. Animal Control handled 96 of them. In terms of code enforcement, Mark Cat has been conducting liquor license compliance checks. He's working with the new city clerk, Lynn, to get her up to speed on how we do those. His focus for the summer has been, dealing with ordinances that pertain to, property nuisances, abatements, cleanups, weeds and tall grass issues, trash container and hauler issues, liquor compliance, derelict vehicles, beautification issues, and, requests from the public. One of the interesting things about the way he conducts his code enforcement business is that he usually starts with an education effort before he jumps right into an enforcement effort. So he recently put out a flyer on our Facebook page that has to do with tall weeds that are in alleys behind houses in an effort to educate the public to their responsibility to take care of those weeds. And that it's my responsibility to do so from seeing that flyer. He also uses door hangers when he responds to residences for complaints. If the resident isn't home and doesn't have a chance to talk to anybody, they usually leave a hanger on the door advising them why he was there and what efforts they can make to rectify the situation. So, unless there's any questions? Nope, okay. Thank you, you're welcome. Thanks for your time.
Alan Peru?
Evening, Mayor and Council. I am here on behalf of Chief Schumacher. He is traveling next week for training purposes, so learning some good stuff, hopefully get some good contacts with him. We also have been short manned. I'd like to happy to report that 2 of our 3 new hires are on board. Are doing very good progress. The last guy, open position we have right now, he will start next Thursday, the 26th. So we're excited about having our manpower back up where we're supposed to be, getting all these guys trained up and doing everything that they need to. Have a Civil Service Commission meeting coming up Thursday, to work on our rewrite of our civil service rules. That's an ongoing process. Before we get those all settled in again, going from there. As far as a few numbers, month of July was kind of busy for us. We had 111 hours worth of training. Some of our training hours are changed, not really changed from the way we're tracking them. In our ISO audit we had in the month of July, we learned some things that we needed to do differently. And so we're just tracking our training and being very diligent and trying to make sure that we're hitting all the points that they asked for in that. Not only that, we're trying to track it so it's easier to track. Work it that way. We have total training hours for this year, as of the end of July at 730. Good. Go for August already. Calls for service, 90 runs in the month of July, which is a busy month. I've been on a number of those with just pulling shifts, but it's been rather interesting and fun for me. Total calls for the year as of July 31st was 512. It's up a little bit from last year. Fire and safety inspections, we conducted 19 of those in the month of July, for a total for the year of 175. That's up almost 50 inspections from over a year ago. So that project is continuing to move forward, things we're taking care of. Some good feedback from our guys and from people that were. Had a few negatives too. That happens. That's all I have, unless there's a question. Thank you.
Honorable Mayor and Council, reports from Community Development. We're finishing up a preliminary plat for the East End. Our business is coming in. Not at liberty to say what it is yet, but, find out soon enough. Also working with the BLM, this one kind of got dropped between the transition on some barracks on south side. The BLM trailers are on the southwest corner. So I met with Dennis Carpenter today and we're all rolling on that. We had our first planning and zoning meeting
Councilman Weisenberg. Pretty good until I knocked the plexiglass off the table here, not once but twice. Our recycling center is, moving really good. Dirty Boys comes in and drops a load of cardboard off on Monday and Friday. And it was built up pretty good when I first took over. And we have the cardboard. At first it was an issue because the cardboard just seemed like it kept getting built up. Now there's just a very tiny pile, so we've got a truck that's went out, I believe it was 48 bundles. And now we've got enough, with another load from Dirty Boys, we'll have another load to go out. The truck's been ordered, so we're moving it as fast now as we get it, so that's a good thing. Landfill, I got word today that, we're in Saratoga for a convention, at our foreman, he took his test for operators and managers, and he passed both of them. So at our next, council meeting, I'd like to bring him in. Facilities, they've been busy painting and doing carpets. Well, from my end, any questions? Don't feel left out, Councilman Durst, we're gonna have a board of adjustments meeting.
With regard to the BLM property, or, it's not BLM property, they're petitioning or dated.
There.
And they already did the petitioning.
Well, and that's where everything has been dropped. In May, when the initial application took place, it just kind of went by the wayside, and I think the transition, so we're gonna pick up the ball and continue with Mr. Carpenter to get that moving.
I was getting calls from people about this, close to the area that they want to trailer park in. Trailer park, isn't it, or is a type thing, or?
It's gonna be barracks for the fire crews.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be, man camp per se, they're gonna be actual barracks.
I've had some calls on that. Did close by, never received it, and it's under the way we're getting letters.
Yeah, we'll, like I said, we're gonna work with Mr. Carpenter to get this, rolling for him, so we get everything in the right direction. Thank you.
Yeah, Lou, the barracks, the location that they're talking about, is that in conjunction with the barracks that they currently have also? The same property, actually?
They wanna move from LM's office up there, this, when they have their fire crews. That's when we'll be stationed at these barracks.
So the barracks that they currently have now?
BLM office?
No, that they currently have barracks on, South Hagley Boulevard I think, right, when it curves around there, there's, the BLM lot is up there, they currently have barracks there now.
That, you're talking south side?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that will be eliminated and everything will be moved to the new one.
The new one is at the office?
It's gonna be where the current location is now. It's gonna be just northeast of it, just a little on the other side of Highway 71.
And they just have to follow the petition of the 300 feet?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
I believe that's everybody. Did I miss any? All right, we'll go down to city council reports and direction to the city manager. Please, go ahead, Mr. Martin.
I was in Cheyenne recently, and I visited with the Wyoming Community Development Authority, and there was a gentleman who's a specialist, a neighborhood project specialist. He talked to me about, specific grants that were available for curbs and sidewalks it's, wants to do subject that, Councilmember brought up.
I'm happy to respond on that one. So tonight, our last item, letter K, has, a ton of letters of intent that we're putting forward for specifically what you just mentioned. And get as much money as we can through CDBG grants. And I'll look at that. There's a lot of information I'll share with you when we get to that point. But yeah, we're going for it.
Okay, appreciate it.
Have anybody else from the council?
Yeah. I'd like to, see a report with the budget and, how it's uploaded and the extended report.
No?
Sean, I was gonna ask if you had an update on the salary study?
I won't still step in thunder.
I just talk to you a little bit about that. We have, as of today, I have one more job description to finish, and then we're moving forward on that. We have a preliminary, report that they've given to us, they've sent to us, for us to look at. They do need the job descriptions first to make sure that they have the accurate information to get, the analysis and the statistics all correct. And so that's kind of where we're at. Our next step will be to go through and actually look at, the statistics and make sure they fit Rollins, because Rollins is a unique community. We want to make sure that it fits us, not someone else, if that makes sense. And we'll go through job by job to make sure that it fits into the criteria that, that was established through.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
I have a couple more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, it's okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna let somebody else have a turn if they had. I was gonna ask you, Sean, do you know that pipeline that they wanna put in for the cemetery, do you know the path that it's taking? Where they wanna put that to get raw water up there?
How, I'm sure we probably have a design on that of what that would. Have you seen it?
I have the design.
The reason I bring it up, I talked to Sean briefly about this. Would it be in the city's best routing this, up towards the ball fields and by the high school, middle school area, and then back down to the cemetery? Large fields up there, if we draw water rather than water.
I recall there's that was kind of discussed in the plans of maybe a few off of that line to water that and then possibly offering, the school district some, raw water too at a rate also off of that. I remember, I believe that.
Really good idea. That's a ton of wiring that we're doing between all those. As we kind of move on that front.
Okay. And, my last question for you, do we put out the, ads for the hiring of the grant writer and economic, had any,
I think we probably have, what would you, a better count than me, like 8 on the grant writer and.
And on the economic development, yeah.
necessary? I wanna bring up something for, would I do it, would it be now?
future.
Yep.
Actually schedule something, yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
All right, anyone else? Moving on to unfinished business. For the ordinance to approve the third and final reading of an ordinance of the governing body of the city of Rollins, Carbon County, Wyoming, 04-2020, amending Title 19 of the Rollins Municipal.
I move to approve third and final reading and waive the reading of the ordinance by the governing body of the city of Rollins, Carbon County, Wyoming, rescinding ordinance number 04-2020, amending Title 19 of the Rollins Municipal Code.
Any discussion?
Sitting on planning and zoning, like I stated earlier, there's, concerns of this. I do wanna say thank you for your hard work and dedication, that you all have put back into that in the past. It does not go unnoticed. I look forward to working with you guys on planning and zoning.
Online voting is open.
I vote yes.
Online voting is closed, motion passes 7 yes.
Moving on to new business and the approval of the payroll. Councilmember Garner?
Okay. I move to approve the July 18th, 2020 through July 31st, 2021 payroll register for $141,948.10.
Second.
Would you open online voting?
Online voting is open.
I vote yes.
Online voting is closed, the motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, moving on to the approval of accounts payable. Councilmember Durr?
I move to approve the accounts payable register for the period of July 30, 2021 to August 11, 2021, in the amount of $788,753.21. $788,753.21.
Councilmember Martinez, second. Any discussion? And will you open online voting?
Online voting is open.
I vote yes.
All right, moving on to the Wyoming,
Hold on one.
oh, I'm sorry, Lynn, I knew I was gonna do that again. Okay.
Online voting has closed, the motion passes with 7 yeas.
Now moving on to the Wyoming Community Gas Donation Community Project. Councilmember Martinez?
Make a motion to accept the $10,228 for Wyoming Community Gas for projects council's choosing.
Discussion. Go ahead.
So, a little background and history, and first off, I wanna thank Wyoming Community Gas for their generous contributions to the city. That's a wonderful thing, to get some city projects done, so thank you to them. And this year, they've allocated $10,228.14 to our community for a potential project or projects, which is wonderful. The last time that we received the community gas funds, the council decided to allocate that towards a dog park. So if, and we'll kind of, I'll thinking of a future dog park that would bring us up to a little over 20,000, so we'll keep progress if you, also, another little background information, before the dog park, that we had funded last go around or designated it towards that, we had designated just over $9,000 to the community star. And the star is owned by the chamber, and I was just visiting with them recently about that, and I think we've had this on our books for a while, and I was just visiting with Jody just for a second here to see if it would, I think what we could do is write them a check for this amount that's designated here, and they can do that and work on the star where it's something that they, so that's kind of the thought right now. And then, so, as I mentioned, we could discuss a few different projects if it's not the council's desire to do a dog park, just to continue adding funds to that at this time. I know we are doing some fill stations at the different parks. We could do more of those. We could do some cement benches. Maybe even designate a little bit more money for landscaping beautification. And I could probably go on of different projects, but and so basically I'd like to just kind of turn it back over to the council for a little bit of discussion, and we're happy to help with whatever you'd like to.
I understand, 10,000's already allocated over for a dog park. Do we know the cost and the location of dog park, or, you know, the cost, the liabilities, all that, of running one?
We did look at some costs, but it was like, what would be the most park, because it really just depends which park that we're at, how big we want it to be, is going to vary in the cost. But I would think maybe if we had 20,000, we probably can do a decent amount of things towards the dog park. But I think we would need a little bit further discussion on if the council like, well, we'd really love it at this park, and then we could go and do some work to figure out how much it would cost. We have really just super rough numbers.
I would like to see us for that money strictly project. That, the last member of the board, when back to them, that they look at that money's going, and what I would like to do is put that money around. Talk to you about go on Bolton Park, west corner of it, off somewhere it's at, well, now, because that one, the way it sits, it goes into it, they end up putting parks and stuff to cover it, so that we'll have to get another one down at the other corner. Also would work as a shelter for these kids that when the bus stops. That's here nor there, but I'd like to at least discuss. Now's the time we could talk about projects all night long.
Just had a couple quick things. Number one, I don't know where this all ended, but at one point in time, Steve Sanger would be our contact for this. The kids had developed a new star that was all gonna go up, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, I don't remember what happened, we got a new shop teacher, something changed, and then suddenly it wasn't gonna go up there, it didn't have the structural capacity, something changed, I don't know what it was, but the star was gonna lay down, the plans have been drawn up. There was, I think, 3 kids that did a presentation, so there was a whole thing behind that star that's already been, really rallied together. I would follow up on that, just, because I don't know where it ended, there was a teacher change or something fundamentally changed in that. Then the only other thing that I would like to add, is I understand moving projects around, I would just ask, At this moment, my request to the council would be to put this also to a dog park. I understand that putting two of them year to year, but I'm gonna guess that a decent dog park's probably gonna be between 20 and 30,000. And I think in the end, if we don't have at least 50 to 60% of community grant money invested in it, then it's gonna be hard to call it a community, gas park, which if we don't do that, that's the whole point of the money. And so I would just ask to consider putting one more allocation to that, just to put the funds there, do some more research and looking into it. I'm by no means am I in charge of this project or the leader of it, but I think I kind of driven this for a while. I feel like it's just kind of not been accepted as well. I definitely have some ideas, and I have been working and doing some talking on the background, but I kind of don't want to say anything because I don't want to ruin any chances or opportunities. But I definitely have also been doing some research in the back. So I'll just leave it at that I would just ask you to consider putting one more allocation so that we can go in and put one really nice park in without having to worry about coming up with extra funds or, doing it in a 5-year stage. Maybe, I don't mind doing it in stages, but I would like to see a significant progress right out of the gate since it will be the first.
And I can concur with that. I think that community gassing one
Mayor?
part. Other agencies, Sinclair, the railroad, have contributed money to that, and then put a plaque and say, built this. We haven't tried to approach other agencies yet. And then there's just have this council talk.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. My thoughts are, we have told the community that we wanted to allocate these funds towards a dog park. I'd like to finish that project so we can say that, yes, we did it. And the community funds went towards that. I have some other ideas that are smaller, but I really want to finish something and be proud of it. And therefore I support what Aaron, Councilman Durst has recommended. So thank you.
Yeah, I understand, putting all this money towards a future dog park, but with the position of a grant writer for it and possibly in hire, I think we can also look at that route too, to get some support in that. And so with that, I would agree with Councilmember Martinez about moving this around. Not saying we don't put some money towards a future dog park, but citizens are speaking about other things too that they'd like to see in the community. I think there needs to be some kind of research per se on projects, and stuff like that would allow, some activities for the youth and stuff like that too within our community.
Do you have any other comments?
Mayor, this is Terry. I would also agree that we need to put the money towards the dog park. That is what was decided. I would like to see us build rather than just a second grade one, I'd like to see us build a top-notch one. This would give us the money to probably do something really, really right. And let's get it done. Thank you.
Councilmember Garner?
I like the idea of the dog park, and spend on them. I think only one thing I would suggest the money go to, I haven't heard this yet from any stations on the walking path. Other communities do it. Every, half mile or so, there's a workout station that has like a plaque on there that says, who the money's donated by, and then it kind of gives a description of what the station is built, boulevard or something. Which is, I just want to throw out, I'll forget if I don't say something. So, but I do like the dog park idea. I think that would be
that could be an interesting to do.
Most communities tie in if you ride around or go to taxpayers.
I believe, on the walking path, Wyoming Community Gas has already, it's been applied to that before too, also, so it'd be a great addition with the benches.
Councilmember Dirk?
Is it, I know that there's usually a deadline on this, do we need to decide this tonight, or do we?
We don't, we've got time.
So we got some time?
I think it's December when they need to know what we'd like to do.
Oh, so we're that far ahead of this one, okay.
Yeah, we're real ahead.
That was a unique thought. I guess, I might just say, you know, let's table any motions and just talk about it. I mean,
I would agree with that
I don't know that
also.
we have to decide this early, I mean, I'm good,
Yeah.
but.
I would agree with that also, and that gives time for, some stuff to be put together for
I
financial.
mean, maybe by then we can find out a dog park would only be 15,000 and we'd have another 5,000.
Exactly, I agree with that.
Who made the original motion? Oh, you did, okay.
Get Martinez and then Chris
seconded.
Look at some costs and maybe possible locations of this and then we can reset.
I think we're just accepting the grant.
We're just accepting the funds.
Oh,
We haven't
okay.
decided what we're
Okay.
gonna do with the funds.
All right,
Simply to accept the funds, I would.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, so everybody's good to open online voting? When would you open online?
I vote yay.
Thank you.
My voting is open. My voting has closed, the motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, moving down to the resolution approving a combined 3/4 quarter-time city engineer position and a GIS specialist position. Create one full-time city engineer position with benefits.
I move to approve a combined 3/4 time city engineer position and GIS specialist position to create one full-time city engineer position with benefits.
I'm Will Vice Mayor and Council and Member. This is just a resolution, and the intent is our engineer has, told us that he will be leaving us soon, sadly. We appreciate all that he has done for us, throughout the many years of his service, and we just wanted to bring this forward to you. We also have, he is a 3/4 employee, currently without benefits, without leave accrual. We have also had, our GIS specialist, we had a memorandum of understanding in conjunction with Carver County, and they have recently, stopped that position, so they are not continuing that. Something that we find very valuable in our world, and would like to continue that too. We currently pay them through contract, for that. And so we would like to propose, that we combine this 3/4 time engineer position and the, GIS, services that we have that are on the budget also, and combine those two together into a full-time position. If you look at the, budget numbers that are on the resolution, it actually comes out to be actually even a little less than what we have budgeted for. So, putting those together, and so that's what this is all about. Some of the big advantages of having a full-time engineer position here, would be that we would have, someone actually in Rollins that we could access on a full-time basis. We appreciate Carl and what he's done, it would be great in order to, go forward and have this position full-time. Someone to be there for contractors that we have, to be on site, to check and make sure that things are running smoothly, following the, regulations that they need to follow. And also, then in the downtime, being able to do that mapping stuff for us. So, depends on, that's what this is all about. Any questions?
Did I misunderstand you? The engineer,
Yes.
so what are we gonna be doing?
So we will be replacing that.
I don't have one.
Currently, he's still here. So he is here, would like to get this position going so that we can, get someone replaced. Does that make sense?
I know we need one.
So yes, absolutely, we need someone. Hopefully we can get somebody on pretty quickly, yes. Councilmember Dirk?
I guess this might be kind of a weird question, but
Weird,
is is there any chance that an engineer might not wanna do that part-time GIS part of that? Is that kind of a standard? I don't know, I'm obviously assuming a lot of things, maybe have no validity, I don't know.
I think the GIS was kind of I was talking to and I'll just say I don't know anyone but the alternative would be, we have different a little of the time, but I think there is more value in this because we need that GIS all the time, and we don't wanna pay those more.
Just see what kind of feedback you get and hope for the best. No, it was, okay, I don't know what for.
It was my understanding that that's a normal part of what they.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Some understanding on the resolution, the current is, 64,000 that we pay the part-time engineer.
That is what we're currently paying for it. However, we are budgeted, if he was able to work the full 3/4 time, it would actually be up to 109,000. That's how much we actually have budgeted on the books for it.
Okay, and then our MOU that was broke by the county, obviously, was that 28,000,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying. What's the plan also, because we did have an employee that was doing some GIS in the past too, right? That kind of cross-training ideas that's gonna go on through that department again?
Yeah, actually, the individual too. That we have over there, so really, use that skill set just now and then at different.
So we still have an individual through the city now that does some GIS.
Yep.
Open online voting. Open.
I vote yes.
Online voting has closed, the motion passes.
Right, moving on to a resolution, for the CCVC grant application for Pepsi Premier Basketball Tournament 2022. Councilmember Dirk?
I move to approve the resolution authorizing submission for a Carbon County Visitors Council grant application in the amount of $1,000 for advertising and prizes for the 30th annual Pepsi Premier Racquetball Tournament on February 26th and 27th, 2022.
Second.
Honorable Mayor Pro Tem and Council. After, I think this is my 13th year of doing this, but I want you to know that I was there when they started this tournament. I was really there. I was permanent part-time in that. We started this tournament, so 30 years. The reason we're 30 and not 31 like the shooting is because we picked a basketball. We said, go away, we can do this. We're moving forward and asking for out-of-county advertising, which benefits us in gathering extra players, but it also gets our facility name out there, our city name out there in the real world, all the way from Nebraska to northern Colorado to Utah. We get our name out there. So this not only helps us with the tournament, but it gets facility goes out there. So I'd like to move forward with this if possible. Thank you.
Any discussion?
I know in the past, this has brought a lot of out-of-state, editors and stuff like that. It is a great opportunity for the, I want to say thanks for continuing this and,
All right, Lynn, would you open online voting?
Yes.
Thank you.
And voting is closed, the motion passes. Thank you very much.
Moving on to a resolution for the Carbon County Visitors Council grant application for the Silver Bullet Shooting Tournament of 2020. Councilmember Durst.
I move to approve a resolution authorizing submission for a Carbon County Visitors Council grant application in the amount of $1,000 for advertising and prizes for the 31st annual Silver Bullet Shooting Tournament on February 26th and 27th, 2022.
Martinez, second.
Thank you again. My pleasure. This is the 31st, like I said, these are shooters. They do anything to have this tournament. This is an amazing tournament. There are usually 40 shooters, which means sometimes 50-some guns, because sometimes they shoot 2 guns. And this is very well organized. The advisory board that you all appoint are very active in this, very active in this. The community supports this incredibly with their donations and gifts towards it. It's really good for our ranges. Like I said, this advertising doesn't just promote this tournament, but it promotes us.
All right, Lynn, would you open on, online voting, please?
Online voting is open.
I vote yes.
Online voting has closed, the motion passes with.
Moving on to a resolution from Carbon County School District Number 1 Recreation Board grant for weight room flooring in the Rollins Family Recreation.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing submission of Carbon County School District 1 Recreation Board grant, the amount of $11,288.05, purchase to install new flooring, Rollins Family Recreation.
Second.
Again, this is a wonderful, wonderful project. We are moving forward, of course, with our capital funding to get the weight equipment and the design of the area opened up and new equipment in there. We haven't done this for a long time. The flooring in there is now 10 years old. State-of-the-art flooring 10 years ago, not in good shape right now because it was only warranted for what, 2-3 years, right? But it was an amazing floor when we put it in. It still is. Absorbs a lot of sound, but we need it replaced. This is an IFI grant. This, Carbon County Rec Board works off a mill levy, And so we're hoping everybody in town, which we lost a little in towners, so our mill levy is down. We're hoping that we can move forward with this grant. The flooring that will, hopefully we can coordinate this with the replacement of the equipment, so we don't have to haul that stuff out twice. This, like I said, is an 80 grant. If we cannot function with this grant, we will come back. So hopefully we can keep our fingers crossed and go forward with this.
Yeah, this is, if granted from the rec board, function with the redesign and just helping out with that cost.
Yeah.
Questions? Open online voting, please. Online voting is open.
I vote yes.
Online voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas. Guys, put staff to work now. Thank you.
All right, moving on to a resolution for the emergency purchase sole source for the replacement of water treatment filter screen filter number. Gardner?
Move to approve $90,308 for emergency replacement of.
Second that.
Any, go ahead, Mark.
Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you, Mayor, honorable council. Back here for filter 4. Thank you for approving it. Down about 44% from what the other filters 2 and 3 are. Back along with filter 1, ready for the winter, we'll be ready for the spring. I'll be back with some more of my graphs. First, show you the production difference and the quality difference between 1 and 4 that we're gonna recommended supporting this. I appreciate it. I'd also selected something very, very important. Stevie Osborne, Master 3, and is officially an operator level 3 as of today. Important stuff. Yeah, and, so that gives us 2 3s now. Of, Bud, and we have Steve. And Carly took her test Friday, so we have 3 3s, which really gets us out of the woods for the, certified operators. So your support is just tremendous. Really, like to just commend the operators in general for the work that they've been doing over this summer. And to get us back in. Thank you for supporting us.
Hard work, yeah, obviously good in summer.
Any discussion?
Yes, I have, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Linda,
I
Daryl.
have, you go ahead, okay. The only thing that concerns me on this is transferring the money from general admin to a enterprise fund. So I guess the terminology, I think, is probably, it's a loan from general administration to the enterprise fund. Am I correct on that?
That's correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I just want to make sure we don't have any auditing issues. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Gardner.
I was curious if you could explain, the filter failures, but I have questions about why the filters fail, they shouldn't fail, and that's.
Inside those filters, there's sealed to that stainless steel, is sealed to that stainless steel. All those seals have failed on most of the leaks inside the filters. The higher NTU water is passing through those little leaks, giving us the higher NTUs that we were seeing in May and June.
I've gotten a lot of calls on it, and I just had a few explain. I didn't help them understand.
Age and maintenance thing.
So what's the two things, what's the time frame on this one?
8 to 12 weeks on filter one. It's about 8 to 10 weeks.
Same time frame ultimately, so we're.
Different manufacturer. One, filter 4 was an add-on after 1, 2, and 3 was an expansion. It's a little newer, but not much.
And my next question then is, this is a maintenance, item that's been neglected over the course of years. What's the plan moving forward in your aspect of things of setting money back for replacements later as needed, so it's done in a timely manner?
Definitely need and will develop a replacement program, an asset program. We are putting monies aside to maintain and repair these equipment. It's going to be those numbers of the increased production, the increased efficiency, the quality that the two filter leads are 1 and 4 are going to show us that 2 and 3 will also need to be replaced. So they're doing pretty good right now. They're producing the bulk of the water. We're gonna see that. So we will, this isn't the end. I will be back for 2 and 3. In that maintenance program, in that procedure and development to maintain and keep this. A lot going on. We've got just my side of the shop. We've got 6 of the intents letters to go in for the development grants. Help us with some of these.
So with the 2 and 3, what is your projection? I mean, just your knowledge and your projection on that.
I'll be back next year for 2, and hopefully we'll be able to hold off another year for 3.
So future is a little ways out. Okay, well,
Yes, sir. Okay.
Other discussion? Open online voting, please. Online voting is open.
I vote yes.
Thank you. Voting has closed, the motion passes with 7 yeas. All right, moving on to task order for City of Rollins floodway mitigation project. Carter?
I move to approve task order for EA Engineering study and report services.
Councilmember Durst, second.
Thank you. So this, thank you for the authorization. This is to authorize the engineer to move forward to begin processing and submitting those documents, both for the grants, yay, to get this back, begin. Hopefully, the engineer is very positive. Of course, there's never a guarantee. Forward with the maps, testing some of those calculations that the FEMA came up with. This, we believe, residents of the south side. Started on that.
Are we working in conjunction with the county on this also? Because I believe they're fighting the FEMA floodplain also, right?
Area.
believe
I
that-
believe they are, right, because this is part of Carbon County, and they are fighting that exact area also. I think we should look into that, and
I haven't seen that.
I understand this was a different area, not the same.
I thought the map I seen was part of this area over here.
Because I do know, you're correct, they're going farther, they're trying to take it to a farther level.
We definitely research that.
Yeah, I think we could research into that and look into that also.
Any other discussion?
Thank you.
All right, Lynn, would online voting is open.
I vote yay.
Online voting has closed, the motion passes.
All right, moving on to forming a water committee.
You have to do motion.
Yes, do I have a motion? Councilmember Durst?
Move to form a water committee at Sean's discretion. Want that? I guess.
There's the council.
There is a motion on. You do not have it.
Oh, I apologize, okay, wait a minute.
Recommended action.
I move to form a committee to conduct a study of Rollins Municipal Code, Chapter 13.10, Water Use Management, consisting of Mark Carney as the lead, Mayor Wycombe, Councilman Gardner, Jody McClurkin, and Nancy Lead. Move to form the committee upon successful completion of the fiscal year 20 and 21 financial audit.
I'll second that.
All right, Sean, I know you wanted to comment.
For our residents, or citizens who are listening for the first time, Councilman Gardner brought, some really good suggestions of some changes to Rollins Municipal Code, Section 13, and, 010, Water Use Management, Level D. And then we, the council decided to postpone that item, until a committee could be formed, which is what we're aiming. And then just some, pros and cons with, forming this committee. Obviously, we do need to look at our rates, and, we need to look at this ordinance. We need to do it, it's for sure. And kind of considering the cons, I think as this committee gets started working on this, they're probably gonna bump into a few roadblocks if relates to the rates, because we need to be able to have that financial audit to really know where we're at. And so the recommendation is that we postpone forming the committee just for a little while until we can get that financial.
Just one question, Sean, would be decision of the management, like when we make changes, how we ration water.
That's how it is.
Oh, I would do away with you doing, you or any manager. Is that correct?
I think some of the things that we're gonna look at, it doesn't have to do with those rules per se, of my ability to be able to say we need to restrict water. It's different.
Yours is when?
Done.
Okay. How much? Right? Got lost last meeting on that. Decision. Charge a certain amount for test water and then more water, we charge a little more. Then my other question was, can we, change the amount of money, enterprise fund? That a way to do this? In other words, if you charge less for the water, that the water department would get less. And this is an enterprise fund, we're not, supportive. Changing those. That a state, mandate how we handle enterprise funds.
Self-sustaining, like, so my concern when we go through the study is just making sure, here's all of our needs, here's our future. Are we gonna have the revenue to be able to take care of our needs? How we formulate that, and, you know, there's so many different ways that we can rate. That's kind of what that committee's for, is to discover that.
Okay. How we were gonna.
It'll just be a thorough study of making sure that we're doing, you know, in the best interest of our community and fixing up the rates that we have in the structure of it. But making sure we're financially
This
stable.
committee will also handle, waters that are not metered. Correct? Cannot charge the residents this much money, charge other residents less. Because they don't have a meter, they have no rate to calculate, have no way to calculate how much is really actually being used. So to me, that's a discriminatory way of doing it. We can get everybody on the same block, same amount.
Those things that you're saying.
That's all.
So this committee is only to, look into the emergency portion of this, correct? Where if it's, water restrictions are enforced, this is the looking at.
Currently how it's proposed, that's the intent, is to look at specific ordinance that we discussed. Although if the council would like, we could broaden that a little bit, like we've already mentioned there. More than just that specific ordinance. It probably would be a good thing.
So if we postpone, we would have plenty of time to all of it, after the audit actually happens.
So we could come back to all these ordinances and scope.
I think it's already out there, right, to look at this after the audit comes through.
Yeah, that's already, it's in the language that it
So this would not be formed until then.
We need to postpone this vote, or would we,
If that's this, then we're,
Okay,
we
then
agree
we're
to
good.
postpone.
okay, all right, thank you for clarifying. All right, any other discussion?
Mayor Pro Tem,
All
I
right, go ahead,
just
Linda.
want to make, thank you. I just want to make sure that this is limited to that municipal code 13.10 for the time being. That's what I'm voting on. I hope that's the clarification I guess I needed to hear. I didn't hear a lot of the discussion for some reason, but I just wanted to make sure this is limited to 13.10 municipal code for now.
Yes, it is, Linda.
Thank you so much.
All right, Lynn, would you open online voting, please?
Online voting is open.
I vote yay.
Voting has closed. The motion passes with 7 yeas.
All right, moving on to the Community Development Block Grant CD letters of intent.
I move to approve the proposed CDBG letters of intent to UCDA.
Thank you. So we, as Councilmember Martinez mentioned earlier in the agenda, we were at WAM and there was an opportunity to get some grant funding for infrastructure and a variety of different things. Grants have 3 national objectives that you have to meet. You'll see that in this item, but benefiting low and moderate income people, preventing or eliminating blight, and addressing urgent community development needs. So we invited the WCDA office to come and visit with us this month, and it was a very helpful conversation. And basically our approach was to bring kind of all of our capital projects and say, hey, what are your thoughts? Which ones would be probably most successful or would work for the CDBG grants? They gave us their input, and then we developed the letters of intent. I want to thank everyone that put those together. That took a little while to do. But really, what we want to do is help the city of Rollins take a major dent on some of these infrastructure items that we have. And so I thought this really is a pretty opportunity, I think, because they told me they have somewhere in total around $13 million right now. And the time frame that they've been getting this out there and the time frame that we're trying to apply is short. And so I think that there's not going to be a lot of communities that apply for this money. And hopefully we can get some of this money. Even getting one would be awesome, right? To be able to get that much money. Each one of these does require that we would, if we were successful, that we pay 5% of the total amount, which is just a no-brainer type of money that we can get, you know what I mean? So, but we have identified, you'll see on the list here, 16 different projects. All of them vary between $500,000 and $750,000, which is amazing if we could successfully get some of these. So we're asking if the council would support us in submitting the letters of intent and just going for it, trying to get as much money as we can in our city. Mark mentioned a little bit that a lot of his letters of intent have to do with the water line and trying to get that fixed up, and we need a lot of funds to be able to do that. So if we can get some of these, and you can just kind of go down the list, and if you have any questions on what these projects are, I'm sure any one of us is happy to talk about them. There is, you'll see on this first page, the letters of intent to be submitted to them by the end of August. So far, they reported that no one has submitted letters of intent. So let's see if we can swoop all their money. And then we have, so the letters of intent is the easy part. The application takes quite a bit more work, but it would need to be to them by the end of next month. And then we need to bring this to city council to have some public comment, and they've already provided the templates of what we need to do. So it's kind of all lined out there, and would like to go for it and see what we can do to help the city. So again, I appreciate everyone's willingness to do this, because CDBG funds, for those that have worked with these, they are a lot of work. I'm thinking with our grant writer, they can be the point person and to make this possible for everyone else involved with getting grants. So if you have any questions, we're happy to fill them.
I want to say thank you for your hard work and dedication. You know, looking down the list of, project list here, there's several on there already that, we have for capital projects, and I appreciate, you know, different departments looking at that and possibly helping, reduce the funds, on the expenditures on those capital projects. Couple things stand out, you know, real quick, on the Park and Rec side was the restaurant replacement at Washington Park. You know, we know that's in the capital project list already, so if we could that, you know, Golden Park and stuff like that, be a great addition. Thank you for your hard work for everyone.
This is an opportunity to take on a project that, talked about, and that is old curbs and storm sewers and things. A grant like that.
I just want to second this is clearly a lot of work put down very quickly, so just props to everybody involved. This was clearly a lot of effort put through very, very quickly. Well done to everybody who jumped on this, because I agree, there's a lot of really cool looking stuff here. This is phenomenal. We double props.
I didn't tally it up, but I think it's somewhere in that range what we're kind of.
Also, one of the projects is lighting to LED. At WAM, I had just talked to, Rocky Mountain Power was there, and, I think we had discussed some stuff with them about LED lighting and possibly switching over, and they have been going into communities and doing this, and pretty much paying communities to switch over to the LED lighting. So, I mean, that might be another route also to look at some of that project too. If we could look into that, I'd appreciate it.
Any discussion? Everybody.
Online voting is open.
I vote yes.
Thank you. Online voting is closed, the motion passes with 7 yeas.
With no further business to come before this council, I will call this meeting adjourned at 9:26 p.m. With our next meeting being at September 7th, 2021.
Jacqueline, I want to say you did a great job tonight. Hats off to you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.